Hello, good morning. This is the 18th of March, 2020. Sorry we're coming on quite late, very late, but one thing we should never say in life is we should never say never. That is very, very clear now. You're tuned to Saving the Niger Delta with and Q Breaks, and the background may not look the same to you, and it is not the same, but that should not really be the issue. The issue is this is Ann Kubrick's, and this is Saving the Niger Delta with Ann Kubrick's. This is Wednesday, the 18th of March 2020. All of that remains the same. I think what is slightly different is because of technical issues. We have come on a little bit later than we would normally do. But apart from that, this is your program, my program, 89.9. It is the program where we tell the truth to ourselves and to power. And as far as it concerns River State, Niger Delta, Nigeria, we tell ourselves the truth, because it is only by accepting the truth of the realities of what we are facing today that we will get to do the right thing, save ourselves, move on when we have to move on, and make changes when we have to make those changes. A lot is going on, as I will always say, and a lot will continue to go on. But what we owe ourselves is the responsibility to change what is not right for us, and to be able to make sure that we do the right thing for ourselves. Now, one of the major things that I noticed that was brought to my attention a few days ago, and I always try to, when I hear information, I always try as much as I can to make that information real to myself first, by either physically going there, and when I cannot physically be there, I send my people, I send the people who work with me to go there and to verify those things, the story, the information, before I will comment on it. And I have had such a story by some people who live in a particular area, and I had to send my people, my camera crew, my photographers, to go and check and find out if really what I have been told is true. I'm sure you're wondering, what is Ann Q talking about? Well, I got a call from people living in Ahoda, and I also got more calls from people who were driving by that area and also saw what was reported to me. What is that? Well, in a place in Ahoda called Akpaja Ehoda, AKPAJA-AHUDA, there is a trailer park that have developed. First of all, I thought it was developing, but now I have been told that it is developed, and it can only continue to develop. Now, what really is of concern and should be concern to every person who lives and works in River State, as long as you are within the mapping that is called River State, whether you are an indigene of any of the ethnic nationalities of River State or you're not, it should be of concern to you that a trailer park is developing. Now, we will investigate more. We need to really know as a people whether when these things are developing, i.e. trailer parks are developing, or tanker parks are developing, or headsmen have decided to clear an area for themselves and their herds on people's land, whether one, the people have actually authorized them, accepted that they can be there, or whether the land has been sold to them or leased to them. These are facts that we need to find out. It depends. You and I need to know because their activities may affect us. The government needs to know. The government needs to tell us what is going on. The local government chairman of that particular area needs to know. If he doesn't know, then he's not doing his job. And if he knows and it is still going on, he's still not doing his job. The reason is this: if a piece of land has been leased to a people and that leasing is authorized by the owner of the land, then if it is going to be a dangerous thing at the end of the day, then the neighbors of the owner of the land need to ask questions, because fine, a piece of land will belong to you and you're free to do what you want to do with that piece of land. But it becomes my problem when that piece of land will degenerate or end up becoming a problem to me. For instance, if you own a piece of land, just because the land is your own, you cannot turn it into a wildlife zoo where wild animals are kept, if that is going to be in danger, or rather that's going to endanger the lives of your neighbors. And so it is that if you own a piece of land and you lease it to people to park their trailers in that place, and if I am your neighbor and I feel it is endangering my life, then I must speak up. And so this trailer park that is developing in the area that I have mentioned, Akpaja Ehuda, AKPAJAEHUDA, if there is a trailer park that has developed there, the local government chairman, the state assembly member, the governor, and even the senator that is representing that area, and the House of Rep member needs to be aware, because what this is a settlement. A settlement is developing. They do it, it is done very quietly. It is done in a way I have seen it over the years in places like Umuahia, to the left and to the right on that highway. If you're driving from Umuahia to through to places like Imo State, going towards Aba and all of that. These things should not be allowed. If fishermen cannot get up and farmers cannot get up and go to Katsina, for instance, and go and carve out an area for themselves in the dry land for themselves for whatever reason, and create lakes for themselves and start fishing. If that's not possible, then what is happening where settlements are being created, then I think that the owners of those lands, the community where those things are happening, should be able to speak up. And if you don't speak up, and if you don't support the process of anyone speaking up, in this case, saving the Niger Delta with hand kill bricks, it has come to the notice of the organization. And if we speak up, and you say, why are we speaking up? Well, I don't live in that area, but that area, from the settlement, anything can happen. People can come from that settlement, come into Port Harcourt, go into Emoha, go into Degema, go into Ndele, go into Elele, go to the airport. Anything can happen. And we really must be very observant about our areas. These are not normal days in Nigeria. These are not days of our grandfathers and great-grandfathers where they were very laid back and where the idea of people taking over our land by force would have been an impossible thought for us to contain in, or for them rather to contain in their minds. Today it is a very different setup that we are looking at. So that this settlement must be brought. This issue of settlement must be brought to the attention of the government immediately. It has to be done. Those areas, look, if the owners of those land do not want to use it to farm, then instead of leasing it to people who are coming to park trailers, I want to lease it myself and then be able to set up farms, different types of farms, because there are investors that are constantly making attempts from abroad to come and farm. But you will see that when you raise the issue with our people who own this land, they will not listen to you. But when trailer drivers and tanker drivers just go off the road and park, and sometimes even on the way to between Obiwale Cultural Center and the roundabout leading up to taking you to the airport, the road on the left and on the right, if you've been through there, the road the left and on the right is being occupied by Dangote trucks. That is also another issue, because I've not used that road for a very long time to go to the airport. I was not aware. This only became aware to me very clearly when this issue of trailer parks being created was discussed. Now, another thing that relates to that is that between the airport, if you're coming from the airport and you're taking the new road and you're passing through this community, Mbodo community, already the headers have come all the way. They've walked all the way past the border. They've walked almost past this other church that is building there, and actually going towards Obirikwere if they are not already around Obirikwere. Well, Obirikwere is in the heart. It's in Port Harcourt, for crying out loud. That is Port Harcourt that we're talking about. So basically, the headers are in the city. They are in Okrika. I went to Sekibo's chieftaincy program about a month ago, and they were there. Two little boys were heading ahead of about 20 or so fat cattle. You know, so I ask myself, sometimes they will tell you, oh, now Okrika people get the cattle. Well, if it's Okrika people that own the cattle, then the people looking after the cattle, the headers, should be Okrika people. It should not be people from Niger with their children. When a child of, say, 5 or 7 is the one heading the cattle, they've moved into your community, because if they've not moved into your community, your children will their children will not be there. And with the bill that is now, people rearing all kinds of bills saying, for instance, if you've lived in Okrika for 10 years, then you are an indigene of Okrika. Or if you've lived in Abonima for 10 years, then you are an indigene of Abonima. So if you are 15 and you come to live in Abonima, or let's say 20, and you come to live in Abonima, and in 10 years' time, you're 30, you can now vie for the position of local government chairman or of councillor. So that means that you're already, when we were shouting, no Ruga, no this, no that, there is always another means of still achieving what Ruga represents. If Ruga represents what we don't like, and they still are able to achieve what they want to achieve with Ruga in another means. They have just used another way and another means to achieve what they want to achieve, which is take over your land, because they are and the painful thing is that these people are not Nigerians. They're not Nigerians. So this particular settlement is huge. I have the photographs. I don't know if my people in the photographs, if there is a way we can flash the photographs, but I have like 15 photographs that is in my to show what I'm saying, and they are huge, big trailers. And I've also heard that people who are driving in to say Abonima Wharf to come and pick up products from Abonima. I hear categorically, I have been informed that when the trailer driver gets to the gate, that the tanker rather gets to the gate where he wants to go and collect fuel or whatever it is that they pick up there, that he has to get out of his vehicle and another man will enter the vehicle and drive it to go and pick up the product that he is supposed to pick up. And that man is not a Rivers man, is not a Niger Delta man, the man that will go in, pick up the product, bring the trailer out or tanker out and hand it over to the original driver to now go and take it back to whoever owns that the content of what is in the tanker. Now, my people, if this is true, if this is what is going on, I have been made aware years ago that actually that's what goes on in other parts of Nigeria. But I've never heard until recently that it is also happening in places like Rivers State. So I have no doubt that it may also be happening in places like Warri and wherever they have depots. Look, people should stop sleeping. People should stop believing in a falsehood that that everything is good and everything is right in Nigeria. Everything is not good and everything is not right. And if at the end of the day I end up being the only one speaking, then let it be so. That is my lot. But if I end up being the only one speaking, the only one reacting, the only one offended by this, when the repercussion will come, and it will come, of this foolishness, because it is foolishness. It is foolishness, it is carelessness, it is recklessness on the part of our people not to see that you are a Nigerian should not make you blind to the realities of what is facing us in Nigeria today, of what is facing us in Rivers State, in Delta State, in all the states of the Niger Delta. If you believe that you are one Nigeria, therefore people can come and do what they like, well, by the time you will get to realize that you have made a mistake, it is too late. It will be too late. And because I have been aware for a very long time, and I've been saying what I've been saying for a very long time, by the grace of God, I will be saved, because I know, and I know what is coming. Our people must wake up. The people of the Niger Delta must wake up. And it is at this point that I really have to give, once again, I have to say that Governor Wike of Rivers State has tried, and he continues to try. And I encourage him to continue to try, because he is seeing danger and he's speaking up. And I also want to say that, well, people like the governor South today, or the chairman today, Governor Okowa, is also one of those. He's also a governor that is beginning to see what Wike has been seeing, because he actually have been on the attack on the receiving end. Governor Okowa's state, Delta State, has been on the receiving end for a very, very long time. a very long time, even I think more than Rivers State and more than Rivers State. So at this note, the telephone number to call in is 0818 144 2222, 081 88 588 155. Those are the numbers in which to call in and to really talk about the issues that I have raised, the issue of danger, the issue that our people are in real danger of being overrun, and just because you're not the one saying it does not make it a lie. It is the truth, and the sooner we wake up to it as a people, as a state, and as a region, I think the better it will be. It will be for us. So on that note, I hope that the people of the community will either join in what I'm saying, find out what is going on in their community, and also to take action. That is to say that to report it to the authorities. To report. I actually see no reason why. I've never heard that any community have actually gone to report this illegal takeover of their land, or even gone to court on this illegal takeover of their land. I think that it is about time that our people are able to take legal actions about what is happening in their community. People must rise up and say that this is not acceptable. If you must, you write to. If you don't know what to do, go to your local government chairman. If he doesn't pay you any attention, get in touch with Saving the Niger Delta with Ann Kubricks, and then we will directly reach out to the local government chairman, your senator, your House of Representative member, whoever is representing you politically, and whoever comes to solicit for your vote when it comes to voting. Even if you want us to raise it with the governors or governor of your state, in our case of Rivers State, if you write to the organization, then we have authorization to speak further on your behalf, because speaking on your behalf is also speaking on our behalf. So the lines, I'm told that the lines are open, and we're ready to take contributions, and especially on the issue of this land grabbing that is like settlement. Settlement is the same as grabbing. You can't just wake up and then begin to create a tanker driver settlement in other people's land, in other people's state. If you're coming to pick up products or whatever you're coming to pick up, you pick it up, you rest in the cabin of your. Even in America, they have long distance drivers. These people do not leave their states from Texas and go to which other state, and go to another state, say California or something like that, and begin to create illegal parks for themselves because they are tanker drivers and because they are Americans. It's not done. And really, it should not be allowed, because it is these things that create the problem. So it really is our responsibility to stand up for our rights and to actually speak up for our rights. Anybody who wants to join their voices with these issues is free to join their voices with these issues, because if our forefathers, our grandfathers and our great-grandfathers were aware of what we will face today, I want to believe that they would have thought and acted differently than they did. Now that we are aware of what we face, we can only imagine, and we must imagine, what our children and grandchildren may face, will face, if we allow this to happen. So it is because of that we all must speak up, because when it is our grandchildren and their children and our children's turn to take over, what they will confront may be worse than what you and I are talking about today. So there you go. What time is it now? It's almost time to round up, and hopefully, maybe because of what the topic is, people may not be aware of it, because the East-West Road is also avoided a lot by people traveling because of activities of criminality and all of that. So people may not have seen what I'm talking about, but it is a danger, another form of danger that is beginning to loom. When we're talking about one thing, something else is developing somewhere else, and we're not aware of it. And by the time we become aware of it, it really has taken hold. And so we really need to be on top of the game. We need to be in the know. We need to recognize danger when we see it. We are adults. We should be able to recognize what is not right, what is an illegal act, and we should stop being afraid. It is fear really that allows people to feast, people to use whatever you are afraid of to manipulate you. You cannot truly be so afraid that you are unable to call a spade a spade. You can't be that afraid. I'm not from the area where this trailer park is being set up in Rivers State. I'm not from a place where Obiwale Cultural Center, that area where Dangote's trucks are being packed to the left and to the right. These are actually very, very dangerous for road users, and the federal government road FEMA, whatever they are, this is their responsibility. And if they won't act on their responsibility, we must call on the Rivers State government to act on our behalf. The task force that has been set up, I want to believe that it covers that as well, for road users to be able to be safe on the roads. Now, if you are a bike driver or someone who walks from one point to the other, where those Dangote trucks are being parked, is your right of way, is your path of way. That is where you're supposed to walk. You're not supposed to walk in the middle of the road because you want to avoid those Dangote trucks that are parked there. I see no reason why Dangote should park his trucks there day and night, even if he offers to pay. Sometimes we have to consider the value of the money we accept, in comparison to some other things. Fine, if Dangote is a rich man, if he offers you money that you cannot resist and you accept that money and you put the lives of other people in danger, you may be liable yourself for even leasing that land out to where it posed a danger to other people. And if you don't, if you accept money and then you put other people in danger, even though it may be a legal transaction, what should be important is that legal transaction a danger to my life? Is it a danger to other people's lives? This is the question that at every given time we should be asking ourselves. Well, today, as I said, is Wednesday, March the 18th, 2020. I hope that next Wednesday you will tune in and we will have another point of discussion, or we will continue on this discussion depending on the type of response I get. Even when we're not on air, we do get responses after the program, and it's the interest that people place on the topic of discussion that will mean whether we bring it back or not, or what it develops into that will mean whether we bring the topic back or not. On that note, it is a time to round up the Saving the Niger Delta with Ann Kyo Briggs, and have a great Wednesday, and God bless you. Keep safe, and may I invite you to Salvation Ministries. Tomorrow is our midweek service, and also on Sunday. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye-bye.